So I'll start by saying that uh, research in education and in the social sciences tells us that Asian Americans are largely lacking in our schools' curricula, and that's from the K through 12 level up through the university level. There have been recent incredible organizing efforts that have led to the requirement for Asian American studies in K through 12 education in states including New Jersey, for example. But by and large, Asian Americans are absent from our nation's school curricula. One statistic I'll throw out there is that among the public research universities in the US, so that includes schools like Ohio State, only about 1/3 of them have programs about Asian Americans or Asian American and Pacific Islander AAPI communities. Oftentimes, when Asians or Asian Americans are in curricula, it's often in the context of studying of or talking about war or foreign affairs and less about Asians' histories in the United States. And so when education about Asian Americans isn't required at the K through 12 level, when we get to the university level, even when it is available to students, if it's available to students, students have to know that it exists in order to actually seek it out. And that's actually the situation I was in as an undergraduate. I mentioned that I realized upon reflection that we hadn't really talked about Asian Americans in my public health courses. But I'll actually say that I went to college in the Bay Area in California, and that's where ethnic studies was born in the 1960s. And my college did have Asian American studies. I just didn't realize it was an option, that I could specifically take classes about Asian Americans. And it wasn't until after I graduated that I realized I had missed that opportunity. And so even when it is available to people, they really have to know that it's there in order to be able to seek it out.
It always comes back, like as a kid, you're like, oh, history is such a waste of time. I don't need to learn history. It's not important. And then the older you get, the more, whether you say it rhymes or it repeats itself, but it is so critically important to incorporate all of our stories because, as you can see currently with the administration, they're trying to rewrite history. They're trying to rewrite January 6th history. They're trying to take away the contributions of African Americans in this country. The contributions of Asians have never been recognized. So it's a little different, but we need to start sharing and contributing to that history. And I think, one of the people I follow, Heather Cox Richardson, which many of you may, she talks about that a lot, that if we don't write history as historians, if we don't have accurate representation and portrayal of history, then history will always seem, quote, whitewashed. And that's, I think, what is so important today, and what we're hearing today from all of you is the idea that whether it's the Chinese Exclusion Act, I mean, those Japanese internment camps, look at what we're doing now. It's the same thing. These mega warehouses, alligator Alcatraz. It's more of the same, and I worry that like the next step when they talk about deporting all these immigrants or, naturalized citizens or whatever, are they going to take away the homes? They took away Japanese businesses. They took away Japanese homes. Is that the next step? So it is in our best interest and in the history of in the interest of not repeating history to share those stories.